Greetings, everyone. This is Chef Beee, and welcome to Healing Me First, stories of breakthroughs, transformation, and healing. Today, I am joined with my wonderful special guest, Chajuana Rene Hayes, and we'll be talking about the conscious body movement that heals. Welcome. What's
Hey,
up?
hey, hey. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Congratulations on you finishing up school and health coaching program. And
Yay, it's exciting.
yeah, it's very exciting. I'm so proud of you all.
Thank
Right?
you.
Could you imagine 1 year has gone by?
So fast. It's like, and the crazy thing is, I look forward to every week, and I think that's what sped it all up. Because it was like I'm loving the content. I want more. So
Yeah,
it's here.
indeed. And so for those of you who are listening or viewing this podcast episode, Chajuana Rene is a recent graduate of Legacy Holistic Health Institute, and she is all about wellness as it in the form of movement. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, movement that heals.
Yes.
So Chajuana, just tell the viewers, the listeners, tell them a little bit about yourself and how this became a passion of yours.
All right. So I am a mom of two girls, right? I've always been someone who was into fitness or body movement, either by way of watching my parents do their thing. My dad was a bodybuilder. My mom was always in front of the TV doing her Jane Fonda workouts and all that great stuff. So I've always been around body movement, and also just experiencing my dad and his bodybuilding competitions. Like we were always traveling to things like that. And I saw the strength and I saw the power, and I was just like in awe as a kid watching all of this stuff. Didn't really know the connection that it had with where I am today, as far as as far as it being like a healing modality. So me just being a mom, me walking through life, even just like when I was little in Little League, I was a cheerleader. I've been a cheerleader all my life, all the way up until high school. So again, that was another form of body movement for me. And I didn't know, again, the depths of body movement and how much it could heal, but I was always moving. So I always tell people I have this cheerleader mentality simply because of my cheerleading coach. She said something that was very profound to me one day. It was just like, and it may sound so cruel, but it stuck with me. It was like, I don't want anybody overweight on my squad. Y'all gonna exercise and y'all gonna work out. And it was like, well, why would she say that? But that was something that kind of stuck with me. And I honestly don't know why. But after I graduated high school, became a mom, and just kind of walked through life, these words stuck with me. So I call it my cheerleader mentality. In addition to just my mom doing what she did to take care of herself in front of the TV, something I said I would never, ever do. I watched my mom get up every single. I said, "Who wants to sweat every single day? That's crazy. Like that's not living. That's not life." But then, like I said, I had my own kids, and I looked at myself a certain way. I viewed myself a certain way. I've always been this person. And for me, I think it's a good thing, this person who wanted to take care of herself. I never wanted to gain a whole lot of weight, because it was something in me that just didn't feel good about that. And so as I walked through life's challenges, having my two girls, being in relationships, and just, slowly but surely, you begin to lose yourself. I know for me, I gained the weight, and it was depressing for me. It was really, really depressing because I knew that was not a place where I wanted to be. I did not feel good. I was unhappy. I knew that it didn't bring me life, right? So I needed to create my change. I didn't know how, but all I knew was I wanted something for me. At the end of the day, it was me taking care of everybody and still feeling lost and unhappy and depressed and sad, no matter if I was in a relationship or not. I just did not feel like myself. So fast forward to 2014, where I had my mirror moment. I had my moment of, who are you? Like really, like, who are you? And I cried. And I cried and I cried and I said, I need literally, I need to fix my life. I need to fix my life. And a year prior to that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get me a trainer. You know, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get me a trainer. At that time of my life, I was married. I was working a full-time job. I was working a part-time job. And I was like, well, the one thing, or the only thing that I thought that could help me was a trainer to literally help me lose weight and then tone my body, because I always wanted to have a nice shape as well. Even as a mom, I was always that one who wanted to, you know, that myth of you cannot have your body back when you're a mom or after you have kids. And I'm like, that's not true, because I'm watching all these people, social media was becoming hot. And I'm watching all these people on social media, these women on social media who have kids. And I'm like, why would they keep telling us and feeding us this? You know, so I knew there was a way out. I just needed to know how to get it. And so for a whole year, a year prior to 2014, when I had my mirror moment, I got a trainer, and I lasted about 4 months with a trainer, because my trainer was just like, I got my trainer 1 day a week, which was crazy to me, because at a time when I'm really, really ready, I need more help than 1 day a week. So that didn't work for me. I lasted about 4 months. And in addition to that, I had to spend more money in order to get on a nutrition plan with this trainer. And I'm like, literally, my financial situation isn't the greatest. Even to give you this money right now is a strain. So again, I was looking for this total solution that could help me really, really pull myself back and be me all over again and be happy and get out of depression. So I met with a childhood friend, and I saw her online, and I decided, you know, I would take up running. And at the time I was running, I was inspiring other women just through running and walking. I still didn't know what I was doing, right? Didn't know what I was doing, but that running started to feel good. You know, I wasn't a runner, right? Wasn't a runner at all, but I just got out and started doing it and posting on social media, and, you know, finding these women who, you know, I had just recently moved, connect with other women. So that was a way for me to do it. So I was already inspiring and encouraging women to come out and just run with me. I'm trying to know new people and all this great stuff. And so within that time, I had a childhood friend on social media who was sharing her journey, right? She was sharing her journey. She was a bigger body type than I was. And I was super inspired because I was watching her just, you know, lose the weight, tone her body, and eat real food. And that was so attractive to me. And I'm just like, wait a minute, you know, you're supposed to be on a diet when you're losing weight, right? This is what's supposed to happen. She shouldn't be eating pizza and drinking wine and doing all these great things, right? So I connected with her, and she introduced me to what I do now. And within 42 days, just really tapping into some in-home structured fitness, simple nutrition. I told myself I was going to wake up every single day. I was going to make this happen. So I said, if it worked for you, I am going to make it happen, because I have zero excuses at this point. Zero excuses at this point. I will do whatever it takes to start feeling good again, right? So I decided that I was going to set a schedule, you know, because I knew at the end of the day, I didn't have any time for me. It was like, I have taken care of everybody else the entire day. But by the end of the day, there's nothing left in my tank, right? So I could not take care of me at the end of the day. Even though I thought I could, there was just nothing left. So I decided, as hard as it was, to create a habit, to get up early in the morning, at least an hour earlier in the morning, to take care of me. Whether that was getting in a 30-minute workout and, you know, doing some sort of meal prepping so that I could be prepared for my day, I was going to make that happen. So I started to walk through these steps. In August of 2014, I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So I started getting up an hour early. I was met with resistance because trust me, resistance is going to happen when you start to make a change. It's going to happen from the closest people to you. I was met with so much resistance, taking a step to take care of myself,
Yep.
which was the oddest thing, but I knew I was not going to let that stop me. So every day I got up an hour earlier and I took care of me.
So what time were you getting up in the morning?
I was getting up at like 3:30
a.m.?
3:30 a.m.
Wait. What time were you going to sleep?
I was going to sleep around like at the latest midnight.
So 3 hours? You were only sleeping for 3.5 hours? And that's an hour earlier?
3.5 hours, yes. Because I was working a full-time and a part-time job. So when I came home from my part-time job, I also had to, you know, as a mom, you just got to make sure everything is in order before you go to bed, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about, but sometimes you just have to, you just feel like the need to do that. And so that's what I was doing. So then I'd be in bed late, but I'd get up early. Again, I was at a place where I will do whatever it takes to feel good, right? To feel good and look good. And so that was my sacrifice. And so within like 2 weeks, a change was happening because I was being extremely consistent. I did not miss a day. I followed my fitness. I followed my simple nutrition. And I started to feel good within like 2 weeks. I was gaining energy, right?
Even though you weren't sleeping fully, you were gaining energy.
How crazy is that, right? Wow. So I started gaining all of this energy. Like, this is weird. Like, I'm not getting as much sleep as I want, but I'm feeling better.
Yeah.
So that meant a lot to me. So again, it was this thing of, I would never ever do this. Who is this woman? I would never ever be one who would step out and take care of herself. Because again, I saw my mom and I said, she's crazy to do things like that. Who would want to do something like that? But as I started feeling better, I started becoming happier. Didn't matter what was going on in my life, because at the time there were a lot of uncontrollables that were really, really impacting my life in a negative way. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I kept getting up every single day and I started feeling better. And my body was changing. And I was gaining energy. So all these things that I was wanting was happening because I decided to create a habit of getting up early. I decided to start to move my body, right? I decided to start to eat better, to really find a way to make that work for my life. And that was through meal prepping and making healthier choices in a simple way, right? So I started to feel better. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. I came to this realization, like, I'm doing something that I said I would never, ever do.
Yeah. Because that's what mom used to do, right?
Yeah.
That's what mom used to do. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm not trying to do that. But we are our parents in some respects. So she found that thing worked for her, and you're finding that worked for you.
Exactly. And it's funny because I put two and two together. At the time, my mom and her, my dad were like going through. And so I'm like, I can see this was her way of really, really healing herself, giving herself something, taking care of herself. This is what she had to be able to do that. And I started to understand that. And I started to walk that path. Like, this is so healing for me. No matter what my relationship is right now, I'm happy. I'm feeling good, right? I'm taking care of myself. I'm controlling the one thing that I can't control, and that's taking care of me and getting my life back, getting my smile back, getting my feel good back, being less depressed, being less stressed over what's going on around me. Honey, when I tell you, that it just empowered me in a way that I want more of this. I want more of this. I don't want to stop this.
And I will say, for those of you who are out here that are listening to Chajuana, My goodness, when you actually see her working out, because she is flooding your stories and she is flooding your social media in the morning. Her workouts and just her energy is infectious, and it's absolutely incredible just what she's doing. And I think the biggest thing that I'm loving you saying is the consistency, and you decided,
Yeah.
you took action to create a habit.
Yes.
And we know how difficult that is, as you've just pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that any habit can't run away from is your consistency.
Yeah.
All right. Once you got consistency, that's it.
Yep.
A habit is happening. A habit is happening. You just got to keep doing it, right?
Yes, I mean, like they say, it's like, now for me, it's like brushing my teeth. Like, I have to have it, and I have to have it in the morning. Even though my life is different and I don't have to do it in the morning, it's like, it's the one thing that's healing for me, that starts my day, that makes me happy. So the rest of my day is like, yo, y'all can't touch me. I feel good right now.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And so I'm curious, in terms of your family, like your daughters, I think many of us, when we think about healing and the different things that we're doing, we just pray that it rubs off on the children.
Yeah.
We pray that they see what we're doing. We might not be talking about it explicitly, but that they see, just like how you were looking at your mother.
Yeah.
Right? Mom does this, and she may not fully understand, or they may not fully understand, but they see you. And I'm wondering, are your daughters open to, movement, or, are they doing different kinds of modalities to kind of stay well?
Well, that's interesting, because my daughter, my baby girl is the one that lives with me now. My oldest, I've watched her, and I've watched her take care of herself. She meal preps. She does all these things. So even though I didn't really talk about it, I planted a whole lot of seeds, and I'm watching her take care of herself. Does that make me proud? Absolutely. Because with my baby girl now, she's out here, Mom, I just want to run. I just want to run, and she likes to run. So it may not be the same thing that I do as far as, what fitness format, but she loves to run. So to me, she's paying attention.
Yeah.
Even as far as her nutrition, she doesn't eat like your typical 18-year-old.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
So I take a lot of joy and pride in that. Like, I am the example, and I can't just talk about it, but I have to be about it. I have to just, show up for me so that they can show up for them, and love themselves and be happy no matter what's going on around them, because you create your own happiness. And I learned that. And it's just extremely empowering to know that I am doing something that I always told myself I could never do. So imagine in the rest of my life, like, because self-care is the one thing that we shy away from. It feels good when we are on a roll, we're consistent, and we're like, yo, you know what? When I was doing ABCD 3 months ago, I felt so good. I lost 30 pounds, and now I'm so lost, and I want to get back to that. We always had that realization, and I talked to a lot of women that they felt good when they were taking care of themselves, but life happened somehow and they stopped. And it's like, the one thing that makes us feel good, we're afraid to pick back up.
So I want to ask you a question, because I know that you've been at this for 6+ years.
Yeah.
And I know that life hasn't been perfect for 6+ years. So I'm curious, couple of things. One, have you ever missed a week? Have you ever missed, some time over the 6 years? That's my first question.
Okay.
So I want you to answer that question first.
Okay. Now, obviously, I get sick. I've gotten sick probably like twice out of these 6 years where I just could not. So I rested, right? Vacations happened. And I'm one of those, listen, I'm taking advantage of my vacations. I don't particularly care to get up and exercise early in the morning when I'm on vacation. I just don't. Right. I may get in some meditation and just take some time out for me, self-care that way. but I'm gonna like live it up on vacay. I'm gonna sleep in. I'm gonna, just enjoy my day, enjoy my vacation. So yes, I have missed days. Nothing's ever been perfect along this journey. But I know that the one thing that makes me feel good is body movement. So it's not hard for me to just, get back into it. And I never miss a long enough time to where I'm just like, you ain't gonna never find me missing no 3 months unless something extreme happens. It's not happening. I think at the max it might be 2 weeks, but that's about it.
That's about it. Well, that's the other thing I was going to ask you. Like, for you, listen to this. The folks who are listening to this or viewing this, people get off track. I mean, life happens, and you found your happy. Right?
Yes.
You found your happy, and you see how it nourishes you and makes you feel. So, like, I'm curious, with the people that you work with, how do you motivate them to get back on, back on the horse when they fall off because of life? What would you recommend that people do?
Well, one thing, since they're connected to me, I show up. The people that are inspired by what it is that I do and that connect with me, I have to show up 10 times more than they do. And I always tell them it's okay that life happens, because it does. As long as we are 6 feet above ground, we have to be aware and accept that life is going to happen. The thing that I try to get them to understand is you don't want to unpack your bags and stay wherever you are for the rest of your life. But it's okay to go through whatever it is that you're going through, get it out, do what you have to do to get it out. And now start taking the steps again to get yourself to a place, because they do want this.
Yeah.
And they do feel good again when they're in it. So I'm always like, well, how did you feel when you were consistent? All right. So let's have a day one all over again.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I just try to get them to understand that it's okay. These things are going to happen. This is a journey. It's a never ending journey. So it's okay to have these moments. It's okay to go on vacation. You have everything you need inside of you, your resources, to make this happen all over again.
I love what you just said too. You can have your day one all over again. And for some of us, I mean, I think that patience and that grace, we got to hear that, to know that even if you were on a roll for 3 months and then you fall off, you're entitled to a day one every time. And really that day one might feel like a day one initially, but it becomes day 40 very quickly, the quicker you get back on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering too, like, tell me a little bit about the women that you really enjoy working with, because you kind of alluded a little bit to not wanting to look a certain way and feel a certain way at a specific age. So, let's talk a little bit about, the kind of women and the woman that you want to sort of represent.
Okay. Well, I am a 42-year-old woman. So I am 40 plus. I'll say 40 plus. And again, it all goes back to, when I was 20 and 30, you'd hear, oh my gosh, when you turn 40, it's like life is over. Your body does this, your body does that, and thankfully, I had my mirror moment at the age of 36. And it was like, wait a minute. I'm getting ready to step into 40 4 years later. So thankfully, I was able to have my mirror moment then and walk into my 40s like, do y'all see this? We do not have to feed to that stereotype of when you're 40, life is over. Somebody has told us that and fed us that, and we believed it. So your body's going to manifest anything that you believe, right? So I am serving those women now who are 40 plus. And those are usually the women that come to me. I'm getting ready to be 40 in 6 months and I need, so I make it a point to say my age. I make it a point to let them know it's not over, right? Life can truly begin because you're wiser.
Yeah.
You can develop more patience if you just put the work in to do so. There's nothing that we can't do at any age if we just put in the work. We still alive.
Yeah.
We are still alive. We have everything in us, and it doesn't stop here. In fact, we can be so much better. So I like to be able to teach them that. Like, look at me. I'm 42, and I've been through A, B, C, D like the rest of the world. And I already know that I'm going to be going through some more things, but it's just bringing that awareness. Like, yep, life's going to happen.
Yeah.
At 41, 42, 43, 44, as long as we're here, it's going to happen. So what are you going to do to make sure that you are okay when life happens? Because I don't think people really understand that if you're not taking care of yourself when stress hits, it's going to hit you harder.
Yeah.
It's going to hit you harder. And just being able to walk through challenges with grace and ease. Like I tell you, once you start taking care of yourself, it's empowering. So it affects your mental space in a great way. It affects your physical. It affects so many parts of your bodies, specifically your mental space, because you're stronger here. You're stronger here. And I am a huge advocate for personal development. Like, mental fitness is important. Like, I don't care what it is that you try to do. If your mindset is not in the right place, you're going to continue to fall off every single time. You've got to tell yourself the things that you don't believe just yet, right? I am a bad woman. Even if it don't feel right, I can do this. Even if it don't feel right and you feel like you're lying to yourself, the more you tell yourself that, because there's power in the tongue, you will eventually begin to believe it.
Yeah.
Right? So I try to, these are some of the tools that I typically give. Personal development. Keep telling yourself how dope you are every single day. Do that. You'll begin to believe it and you'll walk that way. Right?
So wonderful.
Yeah, so that's a bit of what I do.
Excellent. And then I also wanted to know a little bit about, like, how do you eat? I know that you enjoy your juices. There's a juice company that's in your community that you talk about all the time. But I'm curious, like, in terms of the movement piece, oftentimes people think that they can eat whatever they want. And, I'm moving, so it's going to burn the calories. But is there some structured eating that you can share with our viewers and listeners that has worked for you? How have you changed the way you approach eating from when you had that mirror moment at 36 to now?
Yeah. So my nutrition, I can say when I had my mirror moment, I was actually transitioning I was a vegetarian. Obviously I transitioned from soul food, the traditional soul food, to becoming a vegetarian. And I battled fibroids. So I praise and I thank my fibroids because they led me down a path that I'm so grateful for. So I never speak bad about them anymore. I always say I thank you. Because if it wasn't for me having that moment with my fibroids, I would not be here to where I am eating like the plant-based vegan lifestyle. And so I was one who dived into a lot of documentaries on food, and I started understanding that, wait a minute, this is me making these choices as far as my food goes. I started to think about, how did I want to feel? I started to understand the correlation between food and what it does to your body. So if you want to feel good, you got to make better choices. I mean, that's just it. That's just it. And I think oftentimes people think that, you're leading this healthy lifestyle, your food has to be boring and bland, and they got to give up everything that they love so much. And that's not the case. I can tell you that everything was a process. It didn't happen overnight, right? And that's another scary thing for people. Like, oh my gosh, you mean to tell me I got to flip a switch from yesterday to today and I got to be 100% healthy and making these choices? And no, that's not the case, because you're walking through the process of getting better. I had to walk through that same process, going from vegetarian to vegan.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. Shoot, Teddy Grahams and Oreo cookies was vegan, so I was eating them.
Girl, I sure love that was surely my justification. Shoot, with some almond milk, I'm in heaven, right?
I was like, it's vegan, what y'all talking about? But then again, I continued studying food. I continued, like, everything, all this information just kept coming. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be a healthier vegan. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I started implementing these simple recipes, Googling, reading books. So again, more information just kept coming to me, and I just kept growing and getting better with my nutrition. It was just that process, that step by step, and I was willing to take those steps to get better. So the junk food vegan left my life, and I eventually started eating more plant-based. And, of course, I transitioned with a lot of the mock stuff, because again, everything's a process, and you're transitioning, you're figuring things out. And now I'm here, and I do more plant-based than anything. Every now and again, I will incorporate something mock, but that's very, that's kind of rare. It's not an everyday thing. But I'm here now, and I feel good, and I understand that, again, it all goes back to this being a process. You got to walk through that journey if you want to get to where your goal is and beyond, and you don't have to give up everything. I still enjoy my chocolate. I still enjoy my wine on occasion. I'm now more of a social drinker. I used to be a Friday night drinker. Every night when it came to my wine, I love wine. But now I'm more social. So, and we ain't been that social.
Yeah.
So I haven't really drank, it feels good to me. So I can see myself transitioning to, raw in the future. But again, everything is a process. You learn, you grow, you elevate, you get better on this journey. You just got to be willing to decide that that's what you're going to do, and let nothing stop you from growing and getting better.
So, as we wrap up, I wanted to ask you a couple things. First is, what would be some takeaways from this conversation? People who are thinking about fitness, they're nervous, their bodies may not be able to allow them to move certain ways. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you might want to give as some recommendations for folks who really want to move, but they may not be able to move? Where can they begin?
Okay, first off, do not compare yourself to anybody else. Stop that. Stop that, because you are where you are on your journey, and you can do what you can do on your journey. So if there's someone that you're inspired by, be inspired. But also, at the core, remember, all you have to do is start where you are and do what you can do. That is just one of those tips. And if the people that work with me, I'm always asking questions. I want to know, like, I ask more questions because I want to be able to help you where you are. So if it's, if you're limited with body movement, let's truly focus on nutrition. Yeah. You can always just walk. We do that every single day. It's something that we do naturally. Fitness is more of extra credit, but let's work with your nutrition first, if that's the case. And oftentimes, a lot of people that I work with, once they get their nutrition together, then they want to do more body movement, or they're able to do more body movement, because now they're losing the weight, and now they're excited about that piece. So now they can add in that additional element and still only do what they can do until they build themselves up to, doing more intensifying fitness or something like that. So that's number one. Number two, just truly have belief in yourself. Really, really have that hardcore belief in yourself. And again, that goes back to telling yourself every day, I can do this. Even if it sounds like it's not true, just really tell yourself, I can do this, but do what you can do. I can do this, right? Having that self-belief in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, understand that you may not get it right all of the time. It's a part of the process. Don't allow that to deter you from getting up the next day and doing it all over again. Essentially, it's like your day one is every day. If
I
you
love
truly focus on, whoo, this is day one every single day, you'll begin to make progress. You'll begin to get better.
that.
You know, it's just a matter of developing that consistency, developing that habit. You know, make sure when you're trying to develop a habit that you do it the same time every single day. It works better that way. It just works better that way. You don't want to be all over the place if you can help it. You know, of course, there's things that happen in a day, but if you can help it, try to develop consistency in a certain time of day and do it. Set that appointment, you know, and don't miss it. So that would be some takeaways. And just know that your nutrition is going to be a process. You don't have to flip a switch. You don't. You can walk through that on a day-to-day basis, period.
So, Chajuana, how can people connect with you? How can they work with you? Tell them, tell our viewers, tell our listeners how they can stay connected to that high, amazing, beautiful energy of yours.
Okay, so y'all know I'm all about Instagram nowadays. There's 8 billion people in this world, and I love connecting with so many people. So you can Instagram me at Chajuana Rene. So that is CHAJUANA_Rene, RENE. And that's on Instagram.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you have anything coming up or anything that you're working on that we should know about?
Well, I am always, every single month, once a month, inviting to my health and happiness community. So that is every single month. We will be starting here soon. I am all about helping women lose the belly, tone the body, gain energy, and get healthier. I'm all about that, you know, specifically my 40 plus women, because y'all, we got this, honey. We dope. Don't think we still not dope. I don't care if we had kids, didn't have kids. I don't care if you're busy. You can most definitely make time for yourself to feel good and look good if that's what you truly want.
Ashe. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and talking with us. You are so amazing. I love your energy.
Thank you.
And for those of you who are listening, this is Chef Bee. You guys can connect with me on my site, Chef Bee. That's with 3 E's, Be Empowered, Energized, and Engaged.com. Or you can connect with me on Instagram. I am Chef Bee with 3 E's. You can also see these episodes of the podcast Healing Me First on YouTube and also on Spotify and Anchor. Thank you all for tuning in today, and go out there and move.
Hey.